Hey guys. So for today for English, we're going to start something new. Um, Part of it is review. We're going to go back over the 8 parts of speech. You guys have had the different parts of speech probably since you were, I don't know, first or second grade is when you started to be introduced to some of the beginning parts of these different things. And so today we're going to actually go over the 8 specific parts of speech, the main parts. The reason we're doing this is because in order to build on these 8 parts, you have to make sure you have those ones down to continue to learn new skills, especially with the new standards that you guys have as 8th graders this year that you need to make sure to go over. So if you open up Planbook and you go to Tuesday and look at remote learning, you'll see the attachment down here for the PowerPoint. I'm going to open that up right now and go through some of it with you. So the 8 parts of speech, there are 8 main parts that you need to make sure that you know. The first of which is a noun. So a noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or idea. It gives you some examples. Man, Butte College, house, happiness. Okay, all those things are either people, places, things, or ideas. It's pretty basic, but it also says that a noun is a word for a person, place, thing, or idea. Nouns are often used with an article, meaning the, a, or an, but not always, just typically. So usually you're going to say a man, a house, an apple, the college, okay, the store. All of those places, all of those things are nouns. Proper nouns always start with a capital letter. Common nouns do not. So in their examples, how they have man, Butte College, house, and happiness, Butte College is the only proper noun. Again, I know most of this is a review for you guys, but we need to make sure that you have these skills down in order to build off of them. The nouns are continued on in this next slide. Nouns can be singular, plural, concrete, or abstract. We're not going to get into detail with the concrete or abstract just because I think you guys know that. And then singular and plural, you also know that. Nouns show possession by adding an apostrophe S. So Derek's car. Derek's would have an apostrophe S because it's showing ownership. It's showing possession of the car. Nouns function in different roles within a sentence. For example, a noun can be a subject, direct object, indirect object, subject complement, or object of a preposition. Then there's a sentence example with some different nouns. So it says, the young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and then she quickly disappeared. Oh my. So you have girl, letter, and teacher, all of which are nouns. The next thing we're going to go over are pronouns. A pronoun is a word used in place of a noun, such as she, they, it, or we. If you think about your comprehension questions that I have you do for literature fairly often, I tell you specifically, do not start your sentences with a pronoun. Be specific. Okay? Tell me who he is. Tell me who she is. But you still do need to know what pronouns are. So a pronoun is a word used in place of a noun. A pronoun is usually substituted for a specific noun, which is called its antecedent. Okay, so usually a name or names. Pronouns are further defined by type. So you have personal pronouns, which refer to specific persons or things. Possessive pronouns, which indicate ownership. Reflexive pronouns, which are used to emphasize another noun or pronoun. Relative pronouns introduce a subordinate clause. And demonstrative pronouns, which identify, point to, or refer to nouns. Here's an example sentence for pronouns. The young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and then she quickly disappeared. Oh my. So your pronouns are me and she. Those could also, instead of she, you could switch it to the young boy and make it a and he. Either one that you would work as a pronoun. The next part of speech is a verb. So a verb expresses action or being. So jump, is, write, become. Verb is something you can typically physically do. It's something you do in general. So the verb in this sentence expresses action or being. There is a main verb and sometimes one or more helping verbs. So for example, she can sing. Sing is the main verb, but can is the helping verb. A verb must agree with its subject in number. So both are singular or both are plural. Either add an S to both or don't add an S to both, typically. Verbs also take different forms to express tense. The example sentence for verbs goes like this. The young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and then she quickly disappeared. Oh my. So brought, which is something that the girl could physically do, or physically did, was the verb. And then where it says she quickly disappeared, disappeared is also something that can physically be done. Remember, verb, it's something you can do. It's something a person can do. So she disappeared. Disappeared would be the verb. Then you have adjectives. I'm not sure why these are off the slide, but that's okay. An adjective modifies or describes a noun or pronoun, such as pretty, old, blue, and smart. Okay, an adjective is a describing word. So it usually answers the question of which kind, what kind, or how many. Typically, there is an a, there is a, and the, which are classified as adjectives. The young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and then she quickly disappeared. Oh my. Young is describing the girl, therefore young is the adjective. Long is describing the letter, making long the adjective as well. Adverbs. Adverbs modify or describe a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Typically, they end in ly, but not always. Gently, extremely, carefully, well. An adverb describes or modifies a verb, an adjective, or another verb, but never does it modify a noun. It usually answers the questions of when, where, how, why, under what conditions, or to what degree. And they often end in ly, as I stated earlier. The young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and then she quickly disappeared. Oh my. So very is an adverb, as is then and quickly. Prepositions. So a preposition is a word placed before a noun or pronoun to form a phrase modifying another word in the sentence. By, with, about, and until are examples of these. By the tree, with our friends, about the book, until tomorrow. All of which are prepositions. A preposition is a word placed before a noun or pronoun to form a phrase modifying another word in the sentence. Therefore, a preposition is always part of the prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase almost always function as an adjective or as an adverb. The young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and then she quickly disappeared. Oh my. So your preposition is from. A conjunction. A conjunction joins words or phrases or clauses. These are words such as and, but, or, while, because. They indicate a relationship between the elements that are joined. Coordinating conjunctions connect grammatically equal elements using and, but, or, nor, for, so, or yet. Subordinating conjunctions connect clauses that are not equal because, although, while, since, and those go on and on. For example, the young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and she quickly disappeared. Oh my. So this is a coordinating conjunction. As you can see right here, it's listed as and under coordinating conjunctions. And there's your and right there, the example in the sentence. The last part of speech is an interjection. An interjection is a word used to express emotion. Oh, wow. Oops. An interjection is a word used to express emotion. These can vary. These are not the only examples that fall under this category. It is often followed by an exclamation point. The young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and then she quickly disappeared. Oh my. Oh my is your interjection. Okay, it shows emotion. And if you notice, it does also end in an exclamation point. That helps you know where the interjection actually is. So now that we've gone through these 8 parts of speech, again, they should mostly be a review to you. I know you have started learning about these from an early age. We're going to go in to Plan Book again, and you're going to open the Parts of Speech newspaper assignment, which I have right here. Nope, not that one. I have it right here. So this assignment, you are going to actually create your own newspaper, but you're using the parts of speech. So it says the objective, create a newspaper with 8 articles featuring stories about the parts of speech. So you have 8 articles and you have 8 parts of speech. So each article will be about a different part of speech. However, this is not just a description of these parts of speech. You're telling stories. I'll show you an example here in a little bit. The requirements. Your 8 stories should explain what each part of speech does and provide examples. You should also have at least 3 pictures in your newspaper. You are not working with a partner since you are online. The articles. each of your articles should be at least 8 sentences long. I encourage you to be creative. You should write an article for nouns, verbs, pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, adverbs, and adjectives. You are required to include at least 3 pictures. They can be hand-drawn, printed from the computer, or clipped from another source. You'll be working on this newspaper online, so it will be easier for you just to take pictures from the internet. Bonus features. So if you finish all of this before the newspaper is actually due, you're welcome to add any of these extra things in order to get a little bit of extra credit on the assignment. Some of these bonus features can include horoscopes, comics, a Dear Abby, letter to the editor, crossword puzzles, or word searches, classifieds, and a sports section. Whatever you want to add. And then here's your rubric for the newspaper. It goes to articles, pictures, quality, and bonus points. So now I'm going to show you an example. This is also attached for you. It's the A Parts of Speech newspaper. So I only did part of this to show you as an example. I didn't do all of it, but this is an example of what your newspaper will look like. In the following days, I will show you how to get to this template so that you can actually use this same template and just fill in your own information. So I titled my newspaper Grammar Daily. And then you needed to have like a slogan or a saying. So I said, think you know it all? Let us prove you wrong. So what I did is for each article, it has to be about a different part of speech. However, you're not saying this article is about interjections. You're pretty much making it a story. So the first one I did was about Cole Matthews. I actually wrote Cole Matthews right here as my author. Then my picture caption, it says Cole Matthews' father yelling at him for being late. So my article by Cole Matthews, it says, I never realized how much I utilize interjections. Interjections are words to show emotion. So right there is my definition of interjections. You see, I am a very angry kid, but I blame that on my parents. All they want to do is drink and spend their money and try to fix me. They don't really care about me. I tend to get into fights, both physical and verbal, but it is just because everyone is against me. I remember one time I yelled across the parking lot at school at Peter Driscoll, Hey, why don't you come over here and we can talk about you being a snitch? Most of the time, I don't use words as nice as hey. Usually I'm so enraged that I just say whatever I am feeling. Even though I don't really like school or people, I can say that I know how to use interjections correctly. Okay, so that's my story. That would count as my interjection story so that I can check off my list. I don't need to write another article regarding interjections. I also included a picture of the spirit bear right here. So then up here, goes along with this next article. Okay, it's my English prep in Washington, Nebraska. Completely made up place, but it goes along with my story. This one was written by Katniss Everdeen. So it says, so much pressure, so much pressure. This was the phrase that was continuously running through Ned the Noun's mind. Being a noun, he was the main part of most sentences and had a variety of forms in which he could be used. Not many other parts of speech can say that they can take on multiple forms, like people, places, things, or ideas. Ned the Noun was in charge of making sure that all of the sentences written by the grammar students at English Prep in Washington, Nebraska, used nouns correctly. Ned the Noun was not new to this type of work. Since he was young, he had been correcting the nouns used by those around him. It was almost as though it was second nature. Ned even took a large amount of pride in correcting those around him. In his mind, he was helping to make the world a better place grammatically. It wasn't until recently that Ned the Noun started feeling pressure regarding his position at English Prep. Ned the Noun was recently notified that many of the students in the advanced grammatical theory class were having difficulty differentiating between nouns and pronouns. Ned was completely and utterly taken aback. After reading some of the students' writing, Ned knew the pressure was on to fix the misuse of nouns before the end of the semester. Hour upon hour, Ned the Noun worked vigorously to teach and correct the writing of students in the class. With only 2 days left before the end of the semester, Ned the Noun had a breakthrough. Each student was correctly using nouns and able to differentiate between pronouns and nouns. At the beginning, no one thought this feat was possible, but Ned the Noun accepted the challenge and succeeded. So that alone is all about nouns, saying what they are. So right here I stated they are people, places, things, or ideas. Okay, I have a picture to go along with it as well, and a title. Is that a made-up story? Oh, 100%. But it tells you what a noun is within the story. Okay, it'll tell you some things on the template to put right here. And then my next one. So this one is all about adjectives. It's the serene outdoors, adventure awaits. Don't miss out on a country full of wonders. So this is by Bear Grylls. Again, made up. It says the country we live in is filled with some amazing places. We have mountains, deserts, oceans, lakes, waterfalls, plains, and so much more, and so many more. Each individual place has its own beauty. Some people are sunset chasers, others are traveling in hopes of finding the next great adventure, and then you have those that are just excited to be exploring the outdoors. None of the places of beauty in the land of the free would be the same without the use of specific words to describe their indescribable beauty. Think about it. If I were to tell you I saw some mountains and a sunset, would you be that interested in seeing it as well? Probably not. However, if I use describing words, adjectives, to tell you about the mountains and the sunset, you would probably be interested in planning a trip or at least looking into one. Yes, we all know the saying that life isn't fair, but we still need to be fair to the beauty that surrounds us. In order to do this, we need to accurately describe the amazing, beautiful, and breathtaking wonders that we are able to enjoy. Don't sell them short. So again, I tell you what adjectives are. They're describing words. Okay, so that one covered my adjectives one. I can check that off my list. Right here, I have the Grand Tetons, which are in Wyoming. Very beautiful. If you ever have the chance to go visit them, I suggest doing it. Then you have Niagara Falls, which, yes, it is partially in Canada, but it's partially also in the United States. Down here, I didn't even add another picture, just because I think you probably got the point. This is the one that came with the template. I was getting ready to write It's What You Do by Yadier Molina. This was going to be an article all about verbs, which is why it's titled It's What You Do. Verbs are things you do. However, I wanted to leave it like this just so that you could have an idea. I did do one of the extra credits. This was the Dear Editor. I signed it anonymous because it was to the editor. It says, Dear Editor, I wanted to tell you how much I enjoy reading your articles. I love how they always relate back to grammar in some way. I am a grammar freak. I love writing and correcting people. Some people say that I am annoying because I am always telling them what they are doing wrong. Oh well, I still enjoy it. Keep doing what you are doing. People will catch on to correct grammar. I will make sure of it. Sincerely, Anonymous. Again, that's one of my extra credit things. You will not be doing any of the extra credit parts of this project until you finish all of the other 8 parts of speech. I just did this for an example. I didn't touch this next page. I pretty much left it just like the template said. I did add only grammar can be more than perfect. And then you restate the opening quote of your newspaper right here. Didn't change the pictures or anything like that. So this is what your assignment is going to be. However, today you're not actually starting on it. I just wanted to go through and show you what it looked like. In order to get to your template, I know I was going to show you this on a different day, but I'm going to show you now. You're going to go to Microsoft Word on your computer, not online version, the actual version. And right here on templates, you're going to search newspaper. And when that pops up, you're going to double click newspaper. And there you go. All you have to do is fill in your information, your pictures. It's all there for you. This is called filler text. It's written in, I believe, Latin. So just you delete it, type in what you need, and make it your own. You can change the colors of things if you want to, but again, that's extra stuff that I wouldn't worry about until after you're done with all of your articles. For today, since you're not actually getting started on your newspaper, all I want you to do is brainstorm the 8 different story ideas that you can do for the 8 parts of speech. I will put this assignment on Teams. It'll literally just say 8 parts of speech brainstorming, I think I'll probably call it, on Teams. And each type of speech will be listed, and all you do beside it is type in the kind of story that you want to create or what your story is about for that part of speech. And that's it. That is your assignment for today. And then starting on Thursday for English, since you'll already have all of your ideas down for the newspaper, you are going to start working on the newspaper template and actually filling in your stories and making them yours. That's kind of for today. I know this was a lengthy video, but I hope that helped you out and gave you some solid instruction.